I got to lean in.
What is going on, everybody? It is me again, and it is time to lean in, bitch, for the Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 6. I'm here with Jamie, who is freshly moved into his new place and knows the time that we start the live.
I have to ask every single week. Every week, I just want to make sure.
3 years, after 3 years, someone still asks me, what time are we live? I'm just like, okay.
Because we're in different time zones. You be sending, we're in Mountain Time. We're going to be Central Georgia time. We're going to be East Coast time. I can't keep up with this.
Hey, Sammy, how are you?
Nice of you to join us, Sammy.
Sammy never seems to be confused for the time, do you?
And I was actually here before you, Jamie. I just don't know what happened.
No, you were lying because I logged in at 7:25.
Oh, no, well. You're lying.
I logged in at 7:25.
Yeah. What you logged in? So 7:25 Eastern time or Mountain time? What time?
And we've been doing this for how long? We in year 3 and he still don't know the time?
Nonetheless, we're not gonna go in on how Jamie is always confused. Nonetheless,
never confused.
New Jersey. We are your favorite Jersey boys. I'm gal, but Jersey boys. We're gonna talk about episode 6 titled what is it called? The batting cages or some shit. I forgot what it's called. Oh, All Bets Are Off. That's what they titled the episode. Basically playing a spin off of the episode of the charity event that Dolores is throwing. Now I'm gonna say the episode to me was kind of mid. I just watched it, and what I can say about Jersey is that they always they give you all these kind of like pointless scenes building up to like whatever the event for the episode is, and then that's usually it. And it was no different here. But we're still going to talk about it. Of course, before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to those who are watching right now. I see Casey's in the chat. Chase is here. Kevin. What's going on, Jace? How you doing? That's one of that's one of Sammy's friends too. That's my homegirl too. We cool. Your friend, is it Jace? Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know her.
Well, I know her or him or whatever you were gonna go at. But I guess they beat right now, so it's cool.
Wow.
Hey, Jace, how are you?
Wow.
But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the episode. So thus far, we are on episode 6, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are actually about to be midway through the season because I saw clips of the after show coming up soon, I think today. So, and this is episode 6, but Jersey always gives us a short to the point season. And honestly, I wish the other franchises would do that. We don't need 18, 20 episodes. We just don't. But especially when the drama is usually recycled anyway. But where we are right now, last week there was a screaming match between Jen and Marge at Jen Fessler's event. Jen Fessler kicked Jen out, told her she had to leave. Obviously, she's friends with Marge. Teresa left. And then we finished off last week's episode with Valentina, which is Danielle's daughter's little birthday, her 5th birthday party, I believe, where Rachel and Danielle were being warned by Teresa and Jen to watch out for Marge. That was last. I think neither of you guys were here last week, right? It was just me and Danny, right?
I was not.
Okay.
I was moving.
You were moving. I'm glad you got furniture. I'm just. I gotta move soon too. Hopefully, I keep my same damn furniture. But I'm gonna get y'all quick thoughts since y'all weren't here last week. What did y'all feel about? I guess everything that happened last week. From everything that happened at Jen Fester's house. Obviously, this constant rotation of Jen and Marge back to where they were in all the previous seasons, and then Teresa and Jen warning the new girls about Marge. I'll start with you, Sammy.
Last week's episode was a little dry too, I think. But I will say that I didn't find any fault with Teresa warning the girls about Marge. I mean, we've seen how Marge is moving already, and Teresa doesn't even know this information. So I feel like she was well within her right, and she was on to something as well to let them know, look, Marge is cool, but it's better to keep her on your side than to be against her. As far as Jen and Marge, they're sick of each other. They just need to go ahead and call it what it is and quit trying to mend things. It's just not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of people online, like Twitter specifically, were saying like Jen Fessler, well, what did she think was going to happen? Why did she stop the fight? She signed up for the wrong show. This is why she's a friend. And I actually disagree with them completely. Every single franchise needs one woman who tries to like stay above the fray, because even her like shock that these women were screaming was pure comedy. She's like, I have neighbors. And she's like, I don't live in a big house like Teresa. And Teresa's like, I've got 5 acres. How small is this? Like, it was just comedy. 6 acres. So it's in the middle of this screaming match. You have this kind of side, just like completely off the cuff, off the wall kind of situation. I love that Jen stopped it, because in and of itself, it was more drama, adding fuel to the fire of kicking somebody out. We love people who get kicked out of parties. We love people that kick people out of parties. So I love that. I agree with Sammy. Marge and Jen need to stop pretending that they've made peace. They need to stop pretending that they've buried the hatchet. It's never going to happen. And I think more so on Jen's side. I think Marge would be perfectly happy just ignoring Jen if Jen left her the fuck alone. But obviously, with the rumor that Marge spread and made public last year, it was obvious, and she said it this season, Jen is not letting any of that go anytime soon. And I mean, she's well within her right to do that.
Yeah.
Very true. Okay, so we pick up in this episode with Teresa's in therapy. I don't think we've ever seen Teresa in therapy ever. So this is interesting. I know Sammy, you like one of the biggest Troy fans. Like, how you feel about her being in therapy?
Well, they showed it in therapy. I guess it was like episode 1. There was like a little. They actually show a scene, but like a back. What you call it?
Yeah.
I think it's good for Teresa. She clearly hasn't had the space to where she can actually just sit down and try to gain some peace, given all this been dealing with. So Louis introducing her to that, because she said she was against it, and actually listening to her explain like how her dad used to be without not being affectionate verbally. I think it's good for her to actually sit down and. I mean, she's 50, so usually when they're that old, they're stuck in their ways, but. I'm glad that she's actually taking some time to say, okay, let me try to see if I can be better in some kind of areas of my life. Hopefully it sticks.
Hopefully she don't push, Andy down on the couch again.
Look,
yeah.
I mean, we've kind of seen a little bit of change. I mean, until last season when she threw plates at Marge.
Yeah, she was coming. Her man was being kind of poor, your man. You kind of go.
My man.
Yeah,
I like seeing it at this other side of Teresa. I've said over the last couple of years, I've kind of warmed up to her. She definitely has mellowed out since coming back from prison. I can relate to her parents not being affectionate. It explains so much about the way her brother is. It explains so much why she latched onto a man like Joe Giudice, who is essentially exactly like her father. I'm really glad that Louis is kind of pushing just to like, hey, talk to somebody. I'm a huge proponent of therapy, so good for her. Keep at it, Teresa.
And one thing that stuck out was her saying how she kind of fears being around Joe because of his temper. When you think about it, like think about the earlier seasons, they go at it, but actually listen to her say it's like, you know what? She does get a little frightened when he acts crazy like that. She kind of backs away and lets him go crazy and lets him be. So man, that it's good she's in therapy. She needs to talk to somebody about her issues.
Like whenever Joe and Joe fought at that retreat, Melissa was up in the fray screaming and Teresa just left.
Running for security.
I can see that. I can say she grew up in a family of loud-ass, short-tempered men. She married a loud-ass, short-tempered man. So I can see it. Chaos. Not pepper.
Okay,
not
so in the actual therapy session, she's talking about working on herself. She's talking about the boys' night that happened, how, speaking of Joe, how Joe was screaming at Louis, and basically like, how things have been with her and Joe. Him not coming to the house warming, and also his temper, which y'all just spoke to his temper. He's a very short man, but I mean, I ain't saying he don't make no noise. He's a short little man with a little attitude, with a short man syndrome. That don't mean nothing. He could probably still do a lot of damage if need be. And then she talks about the relationship with the kids in terms of Antonia not coming to Melania's Sweet 16. And the therapist essentially suggests that she should, move forward, think about moving forward, which we find out, fast forward to now, she is doing that. Does y'all have any other thoughts on this scene outside of what was mentioned? No.
That's a good ass therapist, because that's what Dolores said 2 episodes ago. That's what we've been saying. Like, girl, stop. If it had not been in real life, she would have already done like ceased communication with him. But because Bravo is forcing them down her throat, like obviously that's got to be aggravating for her. So I really genuinely hope that she gets as far away from those people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then we get a scene at the same time. There's two scenes. It's Marge and Jen Fessler, and then there's Jen and Bill. And I really wish Jen had like somebody that she could like talk to outside of Bill, because Bill don't even want to hear that bullshit. He don't want to hear it, And I mean, I get it, because my idea of a relationship, I want to have pillow talk and talk all that with my partner, right? But Bill is not that kind of partner. He does not care. He's not invested. He already halfway feels like Jen doesn't handle herself accordingly anyway, so he's always kind of mute. But in Marge and Jen scene, Marge had her surgery. I think she had to. I guess it was broken or whatever it was. She fucked it up pretty badly because she had to have like a whole surgery and everything. She can't wipe
she's
her
70.
ass.
She is 70. Like, she shattered that arm.
You finished, Jamie? Yeah, you done. Okay, so Joe has to wipe her ass. And I thought that was kind of nasty, actually. I was like, is he really wiping her ass? She has a left arm. I don't know why she can't use that one. I know we right-handed, but it shouldn't be difficult to get.
She get a bidet. A bidet will do the trick too.
I mean, to Jamie's point, she is a bit older, so she probably can't flex, something might.
How old is she? How old is Marge?
She's 76.
She's not 76. Oh, she's probably in her late 50s.
Damn, my God, damn.
I mean, I'm sure Karen ain't having a hard time with her damn wiping her ass. Karen about to be 60. Come on. Ramona's probably wiping her ass just fine too. Let's just be clear. But we
Marge
found out
54.
that Jen is not mad at Jen Fessler. Apparently, she texted her and apologized for how she acted, and just basically again on her history lesson is telling Jen Fessler why she reacted and did what she did and said what she said. Jen Fessler is more focused on Marge, as that's her friend. Jen Fessler feels like, listen, I don't like the way you were acting. That is not you. And I'm like, have you not been watching Marge for the last 5-6 years? That is definitely Marge. They've had the same arguments. Literally, it was a repeat of was it Costa Rica or Cabo all over again?
All of them, both of them.
Right. So it happens again. But Marge basically says she's not going to talk to Jen at the charity event. Now, and on the other hand, in the other conversation, Jen and Bill are talking, and Jen does not want Bill to be nice to Marge. She's telling her, like, don't talk to the heifer. We had, like, basically, this is what happened at the event last week. And, at Jen Fessler's event. And she talks about being called a drug addict, a disheveling drug addict, which she says she's not. She likes to smoke her weed at night, and that's okay because it's legal. I don't know if it's legal in Jersey, but is it legal there?
I think so.
Okay, Well then, heck, she's well in her right to do so. And basically, she feels like that all the women fear Marge because she has stuff or shit on them. And that's kind of what happens in those two scenes. What are y'all thoughts on those two conversations?
Jen Fessler was a little annoying to me. I mean, I get Marge is her friend, so that's the side she's riding with. But it was just something about it that just feels like she's trying to jump on a let's get Jen train. Versus just being,
really?
Yeah.
No, because when Marge said, I'm not talking to her, Jen was like, no, you need to be cordial. You need to be the adult. I thought Jen kind of held her feet to the fire because she was like, this isn't you. That's really gross behavior. Like, you need to grow up. She didn't placate her. She didn't say that, like, you were you were attacked. She was like, both of y'all were fucking acting a fool in my 200 square foot backyard. Like, why are y'all yelling like that? I thought she was good.
You know what? I look at it, I would think differently, but she's a therapist. So I think because she's a therapist, she just kind of naturally, I mean, I'm not saying I'm sure there's therapists out there that be rat-ta-ta-ta-ta too, But then again, it's probably less likely.
Candace's mom.
That is very true. Mama died.
Big dot.
Because she very much so. So yeah, but I mean, Jen, her saying Marge is not that way. Marge is definitely that way.
Marge is that way. I disagree with her there because
that is Marge.
She got her hair pulled.
It gave BS. Like to me, it was the equivalent to Melissa playing like she just wants peace. You don't want peace. You just have to say that because it's gonna make you look a certain way to us.
I forgot about this. How y'all feel about Jen calling her albino with
With a wig.
With a wig. I was like, oh, Jen girl,
she was
leave the
high.
albino people alone.
We're gonna let her. She was high for
They
marijuana.
don't. I would hate for you to get canceled.
What I will say about that scene with Bill, and I think that conversation that they had later in the therapist shed a little more light, where I think Bill is kind of scared to say anything that kind of goes against Jen's opinion, because he feels bad that she found out about had to rehash this affair that the kids did. He does feel a little defeated. He seems very much just like, okay, well, whatever. I don't want to tell you you're wrong. But at some point, like, if y'all are trying to work on your relationship after it became public that your husband cheated on you a decade ago, the last thing you want to do is have your wife come home and talk about all the bitches she's fighting. Like, you want to talk about y'all's relationship. You don't want her to continue to, like, I mean, and him and Marge's husband are friends. So that's got to be a point of contention.
But you know what?
I get supporting, but like,
I can see that. But to Jen's defense, Bill don't want to talk about nothing.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Bill,
I was gonna say he is so disinterested in so. I don't really. The only time I see him be, because otherwise he's just looking like Dracula, and the only time he seems alive is when he is with the guys. That's when he's drunk. Oh,
well, he wasn't always like that. This just happened in the last like 2 seasons.
Bill has always been more so reserved, I think.
He's been reserved, but he's been like, oh, cool. He really loves Jen and he caters to her and he seems like a good husband. And then the last 2 seasons, he just seems tired. He seems wore the fuck out. He seems wore out.
Well, yeah,
God bless.
Because he didn't got away with that, what he did, and now all of a sudden 10 years later, his payback is here. Now he has to deal with it just like she does. So he drank.
I can see both sides.
You know, I think we're in a culture and climate where there's housewives and then there's the husbands, and they don't want to be on this damn show. We're starting to see a lot of more. Like, I don't know, when they decide to be on this show, I wonder, like, what do they talk about? What is a part of the clause to be like, we're gonna be on this show? Because when they're on the show, I need them to be alive. I need them to be present. They ain't got to be clocked in like the women, but I just hate seeing, a wife talk to their husband. They're just like,
you know what I've noticed?
Very Lenny energy.
I've noticed like it's usually the husbands that are doing things they have no business doing. They really don't want to be in front of the cameras.
Because Louis clocked in. Joe Gorga's clocked in.
Louis, Chris Bassett, Ray be there, Ty be like, it's the ones that don't really, the ones that are misbehaving in any type of way that we want to get away from them cameras.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a weird dynamic. Like, it must be fun the first 2 years, 3 years that you're there. And then after, this is Jen's, 6th season? Like, god damn, another 4 months of you fighting bitches every single time y'all get together? Like, I gotta go to work.
It's fun. It's fun until your wife is fighting people and the people digging and find out your business and bringing it to
Exactly. Like, he's got a grown-ass man job. He's got a medical practice. How can I give a consult to somebody and they saw you up at the shore calling somebody a leather purse? An albino.
The same way he don't give it to them when they saw him down at the shore crawling on the ground on all fours because he was drunk. So,
that's true.
But also, you got to deal with your shit. You want to show.
Yeah. Okay. So then we get a scene with Dolores and Paulie. Paulie is going to be having like a heart surgery coming up soon, but they really focus on her relationship, Dolores' relationship with Paulie and her dad. Her dad really likes Paulie, and so he's there, and he said that he's gonna support Paulie regardless of what happens. They act like Paulie about to die. I'm like, dang. I mean, I know it's a surgery, but I'm just like, okay, is he having? Is it a heart? Is it something like that, or is it like what the hell? At least that's what I got. I'm like, he ain't going nowhere. He's just going to have surgery. I mean, not big. There can be complications, but it's still like they were already thinking the worst. Dolores in the confession talking about, I don't want to lose Paulie. I'm like, what the hell? Where he going?
It's heart surgery.
They traumatized. She just dealt with her mama with the surgery. So and
that mama right back to eating Twinkies and double meat, double cheese.
That's true. I get it. I've also had heart surgery, but it's just like, I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Did they give you one?
The what?
Nothing. A heart.
No, I'm heartless.
Okay, they took it out.
Yes, I'm heartless. I had surgery to have mine taken out. And so basically she talks to her dad about her happiness Obviously, as it relates to Frank, because Frank is feeling away. Apparently, Jen is not the only person going around talking to everybody about how she feels. Frank is going around telling everybody how he feels too. And everyone is kind of like coming back to her like how he feels. And she's basically saying like, listen, she's happy. This is the first time in a long time she's met somebody where she can truly be happy and truly like not necessarily, she can coexist with the man of Frank, but she doesn't have to have the same relationship as him. And I think that's okay. I know, Danny advocates for more so for Frank, or I guess in saying that, he's not as innocent. But in my eyes, like if she's happy, she's in a relationship, girl, let this lady be happy. Like let her just go do what she want to do. Frank need to get his life and stay with his blonde bimbo. I'm just saying, stay with her. But
she seems like a nice lady.
She seems cool. I almost thought she was Danielle, and I had to keep looking like, huh?
I was very confused at the
I was very confused, like, wait a damn minute. And then I saw that it was somebody else. Did y'all have any thoughts on this scene between Dolores, Paulie, and her dad?
Not really.
I like Dolores. I think this is the most Dolores has shown in her life.
Oh,
in years.
Okay.
Dolores looks just like her daddy, though.
I'm with the punch him in the throat. I'm weak. Okay, we're gonna get to that, Casey. We're gonna get to that for sure. When Frank cried, whatever he tried to do. All right. So one of the bigger main scenes was Melissa, Joe, Rachel, and her husband, and Frank was there, right? And so they talk about Paulie and how they're all. It kind of sounds like they're on his side by saying like, listen, this, you can't compare him to David. David was like, he was with her, but he wasn't as present. Paulie is doing all the things right, so she's happy. So basically, in other words, she don't need that little conversation from your ass no more. Frank, unfortunately, it is what it is, but she don't need that anymore. She has Paulie, and Paulie is filling her in all areas. But I'll just say that. Filling her up. They like that kind of caring child. Like filled up. But basically, Frank feels like it's affecting their dynamic, and I'm just like, get over it. They do ask Frank's little lady's opinion, and she says at first she was a little insecure about it, but she got over and realized it's no problem. But she worries that Frank may be too invested. It's kind of what I'm getting from what she said. Melissa talks about Jen making a comment that Marge says that she should be with a ball player. She keeps saying that throughout the episode like a million times, like Melissa gets something new to talk about. But she thinks that this is a part of Jen's revenge plot on Marge exposing the infidelities of Jen's marriage last year. So, but Rachel talks to Melissa about Jen and Teresa giving her the heads up from last week, telling her like she should watch out for Marge. Melissa thinks that Teresa is fake. She says the exact words of, she don't like Marge, she don't like me, and she don't like him, i.e. Joe. And I'm just like, okay, so now it's back to y'all. And Rachel, who seems to be on this journey of proving to us, because I feel like she's trying to get us to believe that she has a mind of her own, because she constantly keeps stating how everyone, like how she can't be swayed and she can't be convinced or influenced. I'm just like, girl, are you trying to convince us, or is that really how you are? Because you're still, I don't know, but give me y'all opinion on what y'all thought on this whole thing. I guess Rachel is going to be close with Melissa, and Danielle is going to be closer with Teresa. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. But give me y'all thoughts.
I'm interested, being that they are going to go, Rachel with Melissa, Danielle with Teresa. I'm interested to see how they are going to pair out, because they seem cool for now. But I think eventually it's gonna be a thing. As far as Melissa just tired as hell. For her to sit there and, what does she say? I know fake when I see it. I bet you do, because you have to look in the mirror every day. Like that had nothing to do with you. She didn't make up with. She said, "Oh, that's what she said in the confessional." Louis made Teresa do that because he wants Marge to no longer be able to tell the truth about things that they have going on. So she's still pushing the narrative that all those things that was being said, the things that pissed Teresa off, are true. So, I mean, how does she think that's going to fare with Teresa once she sees the clip of her saying that? You didn't already talked about the girl daughters. Now you're basically saying that all the rumors are true. That had nothing to do with Melissa or Joe. That was that was Teresa telling that girl, be careful with Marge because she's cool, but when she's not, you got a big problem on your hands. And of course, Melissa had to make it be, oh, it's us. She hates us. Yes, she does hate y'all, but that's not what this conversation was about.
Okay, two things can be true at the same time.
Two things, and this ain't even about you. And I hated that she said he doesn't. She doesn't like him, referring to Joe. Like, do you want them to have peace, or why are you steady batting into this man's head that his sister does not like him?
Melissa,
yeah, she knows. Melissa knows what she's doing. I don't
know why she couldn't just leave it at that. Like, okay, she feels like Teresa's fake. Okay, but now all of a sudden she's fake to Marge, she's fake to you, and she's fake to Joe. And I'm just like, okay.
Okay, and if she is,
and mind you, she said, was it Danielle when they were talking about Danielle's issue? I mean, not Danielle. Yeah, Danielle, when they were talking about her issue with her brother, when he was saying, Melissa was saying, it's not always the wife. Like when it comes to Joe and Teresa, I'm always pushing them to talk. I'm always pushing them to be better. But then you sit there, you make that nasty ass remark telling the man his sister don't like him.
Yeah.
You don't know. So you're actually what you're saying. You're the fake one. You're portraying what you're saying Teresa is doing.
Yeah. I will say on the episode so far where Melissa and Joe were not featured, I do not miss them. And I don't mean that in the fact that they're boring, because they are. But I mean so more in the fact that it has become more apparent, particularly this season, that they are putting on for the cameras. Every single time they step on the camera, there is not a single authentic. Yeah, there is not a single authentic moment that I've seen with the two of them in the 6 episodes that we've had. Everybody else that's had these little moments, there's some level of authenticity, and I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying getting to know these 3 new wives. If anything, this has showed me that Melissa and Joe can go, and the show will still just keep right on trucking and not missing a beat. We have enough feuds that are going on, enough stuff that's bubbling under. Melissa and Joe, if anything, are holding the show back, because at this point, like, we know Teresa is a great villain historically. She's battled tons of people, but she's been stuck fighting her brother and Melissa for fucking 8 seasons. This is tiring. Like, if she's going to be a villain, if she's the villain people love to hate, like, we got to get her somebody else to fight with. And I need Joe, and I certainly don't want her gone. As much as I do not like her, I don't want to be stuck with another season of Melissa and Joe. Like, they're insufferable to me.
I will give them a round of applause, Melissa and Joe, because I didn't hear not one time throughout this episode any type of anguish about Melissa not being in the wedding. They didn't mention it not one time. So I'm going to clap for them.
Oh,
I was sick of hearing that.
I'll take it where I can get it.
I've seen a lot of comments in the chat, and I think Antonio says a good point. Trey didn't say anything about Marge that Jackie and Melissa hadn't already said.
Yeah.
And I will say I didn't see an issue with Teresa saying that, because let's just be clear. When she talked to Marge, it wasn't, oh my God, let's be besties, let's work on it. It was, let's talk about what happened last year. Let's talk about why it hurt me, and let's just try to move forward. When a person does things to you and you decide to coexist or, I guess make up in some capacity, that doesn't mean that you forget about what happened. Right. And so I think Teresa, to be honest, is well in her right to say, watch out for Marge, because you just never know. I mean, could it come out? I guess in Marge's mind, everything was good, because once she finds out later, we'll talk about it. She's like, I haven't talked to Teresa. Teresa never told me that. You haven't talked to Teresa. The last time you talked to her was y'all little moment at her house, and y'all really didn't get. If you think about the conversation, they never really got to a true understanding. They just decided to.
They just said, let's put this to rest.
Right, and it was put to rest. I don't see anything wrong with Teresa saying that.
It was put to rest until they got to the next scene when she was in the kitchen with Joe and Melissa. Well, Teresa. So it was Marge.
Well, that and don't forget Marge is the way she started the argument at the event when she was just like
with the mozzarella.
The mozzarella. So I mean, clearly, Teresa. I'm not sure. Teresa can be a little dumb as rocks. I don't know if she caught those moments.
She has. She probably catch it now that she watched it.
She's probably catching it now, and she'll probably definitely bring it up at the reunion. But she still has a right to be like, I got my eye on you, girl, because you already tried me once. That's just a natural thing. I mean,
the same with Jen. She was saying, I thought that we made up. But if you remember, she said at that dinner with Melissa and Jackie and was saying basically, Jen's on a downward spiral, and we need to watch out for Jen. Just basically bad mouthing Jen, but you thought that y'all were in a better place. But now that you hear Jen's talking about you, you all up in arms. But you was talking about the girl too.
Yeah.
Marge is starting to be a way that I don't like. And
Yeah.
I hate
I mean,
that because I like
she's
Marge.
kind of been this way a lot.
She has actually. You know, I
Well,
was a Marge fan,
yeah.
but I'm kind
Yeah.
of, you know,
It's a
sometimes
little
old.
It is. It's getting old. It's very much Melissa. I love Marge that is a villain that can be messy, that can start some shit and somehow kind of get away relatively unscathed. But it is very much like, girl, you can't be mad at a bitch who's playing the same game you're playing. Like, you can't be mad at her.
Well,
And Teresa, you never had a conversation saying, we're not going to talk about each other. We're not going to do this. You said, we are going to stop going at each other in public. Let's stop.
And we're gonna stop him below the belt. And
yeah,
I mean, it hasn't happened.
And Teresa didn't say anything that Marge hasn't said about herself. If I recall correctly, one of the seasons in the past, Marge did say, I'll be your best friend until you cross me. Like, I'm loyal until you show me you're not loyal. And that's all that Teresa said. Watch out for Marge. Be on her good side, because when you're not, she goes after you. Marge has admitted that she's done this. She said that about Danielle. I was a good friend to that woman until she decided to not be a friend to me. Like, I don't understand why this is such a big shock that somebody would just call a spade a spade.
I don't know why it's a big shock that it's coming from Teresa when Dolores has said it, Jackie has said it, Melissa has said it. But now that it's coming from Teresa, how dare she? Marge, go to hell.
Yeah. I mean, I think Jackie said it to Marge's face. It was either Jackie or Melissa that said, we want to be on your good side.
No, when they remember last season when they were doing the little rock climbing or whatever they were doing? And Marge,
you don't want to get on Marge's bad side.
And Dolores was like, right. And then Melissa reiterated it in the after show. So they know what Marge is capable of.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. Like you just said, like MJ said, because it's Teresa and Jen. I agree. I mean, you know, Jen has been on her whole. She's trying to get everybody against Marge. So I mean, whatever. She on her own little history lesson, as she calls it, to teach all the girls about everything that happened, as if we don't know. I'm sure Jen knows if she's so close to Marge, but maybe not. Okay. And y'all didn't have any thoughts on Rachel, did y'all? Because I mean, Rachel is just being Rachel, to be honest.
I kind of agree. I think Rachel may not be easily swayed, but Rachel sure likes to be in the mix of everybody's opinion.
Yes.
She is absolutely enjoying having both sides of the fence come to her to give her the gossip. Oh, she's thriving off of it. And she's reacting the way that a new housewife should react. Get yourself involved in the middle of it. Start up some controversy. Start up some shit, because she's been in it. So good for her. She's playing the game right. I don't see her blindly.
Think she's playing the game right, because
it'll come back and bite her.
She's already shown that the game can play her ass. The way Jen got her together at that event, I think she needs to just shut up and just have dinner and lunch with the girls and stop gossiping, because I don't think she's ready for the smoke, to be honest. Like, I don't think she's prepared for that.
Well,
especially,
frankly, I don't even know if she knows if she's on a side. I think she's just kind of like whoever is going to.
Oh, she's on the side.
She's picked a side.
I'm not mad at her for on the side as not Teresa and Jen.
Right, and I'm not mad at her for getting.
She seems pretty cool to Jen or Teresa.
I'm not mad at her for getting her feet in there and playing, but I feel like she's doing it in a very like it's like pick me. Like she wants them to know that she has an opinion.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like she comes off more as if she's trying to convince others that she has her own mind. In my mind, I'm like, girl, you don't have your own mind.
And you're right, Cortez. She had a time where she could have showed it and she left. Like that was her moment right there to get in with Jen, but she went out through the back door. So
I would rather her be more
There's no door, we're outside.
I would rather her be more like Danielle and be like, listen, I like both you guys. I'm friends with this person. I'm friends with this person. Versus saying, because basically her saying like, you know, well, they talk to me, but I have my own mind and blah, blah, blah. You're not even trying to even hear what may have happened. It's like you've already aligned yourself with this side, to where it's like you're trying to prove to Melissa and Marge that and Dolores, I got y'all. I'm not easy to play, y'all.
And I think I could see that. And Danielle is being more just, I think her relationship that's growing between Teresa seems a little bit more organic, because when they're together, she hasn't really talked about anybody but herself with Teresa, like generally trying to even learn
Melissa,
about that. So
she is going about it the right way. She's hanging out with she hung out with Melissa. You know, she's even told Marge, like, hey, Marge, like, you know, I think you're cool too. Yeah, I'm sure it eats Marge up inside that she's not aligning with her like the other girls would be. Because Marge does like to have that security of other people to be like, oh, you're on my side, right? You got me right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Danielle is playing that a little smarter. I think she's gonna keep herself around longer too. In my eyes, it keeps for more drama. Because look at Tracy. Tracy chose a side, and we didn't even see her at the reunion. So
you barely saw Tracy.
There's really not a big difference in the way that Rachel's moving. If you think about it, compared to Tracy, Rachel's she's just more tolerable for some reason. But if you think about it, it's kind of the exact same thing.
She said Danielle did the same thing in her confessionals. I mean, we clearly see that she has chosen a side, but at least in real time, that's not the case because the confessionals are much later. So maybe she did at some point. Obviously, after seeing next week's episode, you can kind of see why she got to where she is. Because
her and Melissa get into it, don't they?
I don't know who, but it looks like all those girls are like getting into her business and stuff like that and trying to, talk about her relationship. So it seems like she's going to be well in her right. But maybe this, I don't know what happens, but had it not happened, I think she would have probably tried to stay neutral because she actually gives the other girls more time, I feel, than she does Teresa and Jen. She actually seems like she, talks to them more. I don't know. But let's get to the actual, look at Jasmine said, okay, classes.
He wants to be me so bad.
Oh, God, no.
We are both from Texas. So,
I am for sure.
Oh, you're right. Where are you from, James?
Is that a racial remark? Because my ancestors were from Mexico. Is that what you're implying?
What's going on, Jazz? All right, so let's get to the softball charity event hosted by Dolores. They had this last year, right? This
last 2 years.
They're going to have it every year. They need to get new events. I'm kind of getting bored.
How did they get all those people to come to this event?
Maybe they said Real Housewives of New Jersey is hosting an event. Come on.
Probably
$5 or $10 minimum on nachos and drinks. I don't know what they said, but that's probably how they got them up in there. So the softball game is happening, and everyone gets there. Marge arrives. Marge is not going to play, but when she gets there, she immediately starts talking to Danielle, and she's basically talking to Danielle about her issues with Jen, talking about the whole Melissa should be with a basketball player, a ball player or whatever. And I was confused by this, but Danielle in her confessional said that basically if someone told her that she should leave her man, then that's not a good thing. Was she taking sides to Jen? Yeah. Or okay, because it went over my head. But I saw somebody made a comment in the comments about that. But yeah, so Marge. I don't think Marge is trying to persuade Danielle because she even said to herself like, "I don't want you to not be friends with Jen," and I respect that. I do. I like this because if that had been Jen, she probably would have been like, "Don't be friends with her."
Look, and we've seen it.
But I do think deep down inside, Marge would prefer her not to. And so. Danielle, she says what she always says. She likes Jen, she likes Marge, and that she basically tells Marge that Teresa and Jen gave her the heads up about her, and Marge is like, wait, she said that I haven't even spoken to Teresa. Why would she say that? She's kind of taken back. Rachel slides in the conversation, slithers like she always does. Literally, she walks in every conversation and gives her point of view every time. And it's just like, do you have to be a part of every scene? That's what's annoying to me. But Rachel adds and says that Teresa tried to sway her and that she can't be swayed. This is 1,000th time she said that. Jen arrives and is ignoring Marge. Marge did say her name. She didn't speak to her. She was like, Jennifer. You know how she speaks. You know how, Jamie, you know how to do it better.
Jennifer.
But Marge, at this
point, after
finding out what Teresa and Jen have said, Marge is looking for Teresa. But Teresa hasn't arrived yet. I think she gets there later. So any thoughts on this part?
I love that they showed Jennifer from last year running and falling right on her face again. Because that girl ate it hard. Like, I don't even know what she tripped on. I've watched that clip 100 times and she just, oh God, she ate it. And it was Marge immediately. Oh God, her nose.
Oh yeah, when she fell on her face. I did see this image. It was a lot of, I feel like it was definitely fans because when they got there, like, baby, when Teresa and them got there, they was just like,
yeah. Teresa was a red carpet. It was a dirt
no,
carpet.
it was really Gia's red carpet, baby. She was living. Gia was in her zone. She thought she was on
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Regarding the scene, that's one thing. Each episode, I'm starting to like Danielle more. I don't agree with her going back and telling Marge that Jen and Teresa tried to give her like a heads up. I feel like that's a flag on the play. However, I do like that she told Marge, you know, these are my girls, but they saying something. They saying this for a reason, so I don't want to start a relationship with you. I'm gonna feel like I have to watch my back. So she didn't shy away from it. It was, yes, I was told this, and I'm taking heed to it. Rachel, I'm sick of Rachel. Yeah, but Danielle, I like Danielle more and more each episode. She's very true to herself, from what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah. Did you see
She's
her
fun.
She's
live?
She's fun.
Yeah, she did really good.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I missed it.
I watched clips. I didn't watch the entire thing. You said it was. How was it, Jamie?
She did really good. She didn't seem like super nervous. I really like her personality.
Yeah.
I think she gives she's very bubbly. She's very just kind of out there. I don't think she takes herself too seriously. Yeah. I think she knows like her Jersey, Staten Island persona kind of has a little bit of like stereotypes. I like her. I think she's fun.
Do you think she's a clearance owl? Snooki?
until I see her drunk with a mouthful of sand being escorted away by cops, I don't. I don't.
For the record, I think Snooki is the clearance owl. Snooki. I don't know where.
Right. I mean, especially during that time. Oh my God, Snooki was a mess. But I used to live like, oh my God, I want to be drunk like her.
Until you actually get drunk like her, then you don't want to do it no more.
Get drunk like her, it's like, ooh.
These two new girls. These two new girls are reminding me of the last season of Mob Wives when they brought those two new girls on. That ended the blonde girl and the dark-haired girl that ended up fighting with the OGs. This is what this is reminding me of. Mm-hmm. I forgot her name. The one they argued on a boat and they ended up fighting. The blonde girl got her ass beat.
You talking about from the Mob Wives, right?
Yeah.
I remember that. I
these
do
new
remember
girls
that. It was the young girls. The young ones.
Yeah, it was the young girls that kind of come in with these old 60-year-old geriatric bitches. And they shaking things up.
Yeah, they was fighting on that boat, baby.
They was tussling on that boat.
They was on that boat fighting. I remember that. Yes, Robo's Adventures. That outfit was a mess. It definitely. Yeah. What did Jackie?
Jersey. It was Jersey.
Jackie is, 100% right in her dressing, but Jackie does not dress any better. Let's be clear.
Jackie always looks good on Watch What Happens Live. The 2 times she was on.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember what she said.
I do remember that one time when she was mad because they called her the Teresa show, and she said, "This is an ensemble cast." Well,
yeah,
okay. She was so pressed.
She was upset.
Did you get that confidence in jail?
In jail.
She said,
she was beating Teresa up.
She did. She really did. She told Margaret because she wanted to be honest and was concerned about what type of person. Yeah, you could definitely tell that she went to her in a like, okay, this is what she's saying. Is there something I should be worried about? Like, in other words, I guess she was trying to give her the opportunity to, I guess, come clean of maybe the things that she's done. Do you think that's fair to ask somebody? Let's say, for example, you hear something about a person. Let's say I heard that Sammy was a whole homewrecker. I'm just making this up, right?
I said
that. Sammy's not a homewrecker. He has his own.
He's a hoe.
And is so happy. By the way. But what I'm saying is, like, if you heard something about somebody and you had concerns, would you go to, like, do you feel like it's valid to go to them and be like, this is what I heard? Should I be worried about this? Like, I mean, I don't know.
If I didn't know either of the people involved, yeah, because I'm like, I don't have really any loyalty to either of you. You said you cool with me. This person said they're cool with me, but I'm here and you're also kind of a snake. So, like, what is true? Now, if I was good friends with one person, I probably wouldn't do that because that's some snake shit. But if it was about Sammy, I definitely would keep it to myself and I tell everybody else.
Yeah. My idea of having your own mind is, like you just kind of said, I'm friends with both of y'all and you guys haven't done anything. I know you guys have y'all have your issues, but you guys haven't done anything to me. So, honestly, like, I know it may, unless it's something that's completely unethical. I mean, unethical, like, real bad. Otherwise, You know, if it's like some little bickering and a little going back and forth, child, you know.
Right. I wouldn't go ask any questions, especially if it's anything directly involving me. But like you said, if it's like just really bad, I just wouldn't associate at all. But I'm not gonna go ask and start prying. I'm not like Jamie. I'm not gonna go say, "Well, I heard this or heard that."
Oh,
I'm just gonna let it.
You don't ask questions. You just fight.
Oh.
now,
You just start swinging.
Allegedly.
Jasmine said, "Who is your loyalty to, Tez? It's to the lean." That's my answer. All right, so yeah, after that happens, Jen arrives, Teresa arrives, and they have the softball game, and everything's going cool. They're actually doing really bad in the game. If they're catching literally every ball that they hit, if they hit the ball. But midway through the game, Rachel comes to Jen and basically tells her how heartbroken she was because in last week's episode, Olivia, Jen's daughter told everyone, or told Rachel, I don't know who she told, but Rachel heard it, that she wanted to be a therapist, a love therapist. And we didn't talk about this last week because it was so quick, but I'm glad that it came up now because I wanted to talk about it. But I'm gonna assume that it's at the hands of what happened in their relationship. Even when she said it, I immediately thought, "Oh, this little girl is clearly a little traumatized by what has happened in her mom and dad's relationship." But Jen says that she has never said that before. I don't believe that. I really don't. Olivia is she speaks a lot. Kids talk
She's
a
an
lot.
Articulate.
She's very articulate. She didn't told the mama that she gonna get a natural nose, unlike her mama. So I know if she told Jen that she wants a natural nose, unlike her mom, she definitely has mentioned somewhere in the house that she wants to be a love therapist. But that's just my thoughts. But Jen obviously blames Marge. You know, she gets a little emotional. And I'll get y'all thoughts on that first. I'll move to the next part.
Okay. So Marge put it out there. Granted.
Yeah.
And I understand why Jen is frustrated with Marge. However, it's not the first time that it was said. It was said seasons before and Jen denied it. So Jen has to accept some type of responsibility as to saying, well, you know what? Yeah, it is true. Like you knew that there was a good chance that your children would come across and see it. But I do think that she needs to direct the anger that she really has. Not direct the anger to Bill, but they're doing good now as we see at the end of the episode. But that's what should have been done. She should have been really speaking to him and being honest about how she felt. She can be upset with Marge, but she cannot fault Marge really for them kids coming across that information.
I mean, I think last season when the whole fight, I get you being upset at the bitch who brought it to the cameras. I get that. That's completely valid. But like you said, it was talked about seasons before, and before the season actually started filming, I think it was the prior season when it was on, it was in the tabloids that he had cheated years before with a secretary, that he cheated with an office manager or somebody. It was already in the tabloids. So anytime you come on a show, you understand that your secrets are not going to stay buried for long, whether they come out on the show or you've got bloggers that, I mean, they can go to your hometown and ask 10 people are going to come dig up something because people are ready and willing to talk about their experience with somebody on TV.
And it's not going to stay. They don't even have to ask. They shoot it off in the DMs already just because they know.
Exactly. So I get you being upset just because Marge was that was there. In hindsight, it's 2020. I'm never going to be in that situation. I don't have kids. I'm not married. I've been cheated on multiple times, but okay, girl, fuck it. I don't have anybody held responsible for that. But it's like, take this as an opportunity for you and your husband to sit your kids down that are expressing stuff and talk to them and tell them that, you know, you don't need to know the specifics, but mommy and daddy are together. We're a united front. We still very much love each other. We're working together. We saw on the scene with the therapy, Bill feels like he can't talk to his kids in the way he needs to talk to his kids because he feels guilty about the affair.
He felt like we're gonna get to that, but he felt like he couldn't talk to the kids even before that. But it's work.
So you're finding fault with everybody except the call that's coming from inside the house, and the person on the other line is Jen. Like, for years you've been, kind of just doing your own thing and saying, I don't give a fuck, and you're letting your kids run wild. Like, sit down and have an honest conversation. Your kids are already obviously very precocious, very intelligent, very articulate. These kids are smart as hell. Like, they know what's going on. Have that conversation with them to put their mind at ease. Your oldest is what, 17 years old? And then a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old? Like, these aren't babies anymore.
She should have been talking to them, doing all that fucking. She should have been saying, "Hey, I'm still hurt. All the kids is coming down the pipeline. They got all these issues." And another way, because she said, I think it was this scene when she was like, she in her confessional, where she was saying that her and Bill will be arguing, and then Olivia will come and say, "Hey, remember y'all still love each other." Maybe not argue where she can be privy to what's going on. Where are you arguing at?
You have a 37 room
arguments just happen now. But if Jen is anyway like how she is with the women, she probably does not know. She's gonna do it wherever. It don't matter.
Yeah. Well, then she gotta take what comes with that. Like, Bill did it, but he's still here, so you're gonna keep him, work it out, or
they both are responsible.
He could have been a Lenny. He could have been a Lenny and left that lady in the middle of the night.
To be honest, he could be giving Lenny these days sometimes.
They feel like it's on the rise because she keep threatening him about she finna leave and he ain't made no changes. At this one, it's like he's saying, "Well, bitch, go."
I get the frustration. Like, it's one of those situations. It's very easy for us to have suggestions and comments of what you could have and what you should have done being on the outside, but I get it. This is and she told the therapist later on, she was like, I didn't deal with it. That's how I dealt with it for 10 years. And so obviously she is now having delayed reaction to her husband cheating on her. So she's going through all those emotions again. And she's acting irrationally in some parts. Yeah, but she didn't get to act irrationally 10 years ago. She had a fucking newborn she had to take care of.
Oh my God. I just realized something I forgot to mention. We're actually now streaming to Twitter. I forgot about that. So I didn't even know it was. I added on there and it's like, we're on Twitter now. So, you guys don't have to come to YouTube. Well, no, keep coming to YouTube. But, you can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on Twitter and YouTube. So for those that didn't know, I forgot to mention that earlier. And yes, I agree. Sometimes arguments, they happen and you are like out of control. So they happen and they get out of control. So you can't control it. But she can't blame Marge for that. And she's on reality TV, girl. You got to be hella. What do you think Olivia saw when she goes and watches these clips of y'all in Cabo when she says about the cheating and stuff? Like, all these things. Come on now. Like, this is just one thing. So let's just not act like that. Kids are always affected. And Olivia is grown as hell. And it don't seem like Jen be trying to make them stay kids. They are very grown. So did you want to give one of them an allowance of like something? Or what was it? What was it?
$38 an hour.
$14 an hour just to clean up, do chores. Like,
not $14 an hour.
That's crazy.
That's what he did.
But outside of that, so they talk about that. Paulie is not there. A lot of them assume that Paulie is trying to avoid Frank. First of all, Paulie is about to go have heart surgery and her Dolores die. So that's why he's not there. But it's flattering to see that Frank thinks it's about him because it's not. I don't think Paulie is thinking about Frank. Okay, Frank is thinking about Paulie.
Frank is thinking about Frank.
Because Paulie is potentially the man that's going to take Dolores completely away from Frank outside of the kids. And those kids grown as hell. So realistically, she don't owe him anything.
Frank Jr. grown as hell.
But all of the guys and everyone is advocating for Frank. But I'm gonna cry. And Frank sheds like a little tear, and Joe gives him a hug, and I'm like, Frank, get the fuck over it. Like, stop it. Because Dolores is sitting there like looking like Phaedra at the season 10 reunion. Like, 9. This is like, Well, I still love this man, so it is what it is. And I'm glad she's sticking to that because she deserves happiness, especially being that Frank was not a great partner when they were married.
Yeah.
No matter how good it was, but it is what it is. Like, sorry, Frank, you kind of had your chance. Sit over here and look at happiness because that's
what's the most annoying about it. Like now you shoulda, woulda, coulda. You screaming 30 years later, like Frank, no, them kids, and quit saying the dynamic with the family. Them kids, you have grown ass children. Like, if you want to spend time with them kids, go get the kids. Go do
your
something.
kids are old enough to be kicked off your insurance at this point. Like, those are not kids.
Yeah, your kids damn the same age as your girlfriend. You take her without, you don't need Dolores there to spend time with your children, Frank. So just stop.
Right. Go be with your blonde girl.
This conversation just really encapsulated Dolores and Frank's relationship, where Frank has the audacity to expect Dolores and his familial situation to remain completely intact and unaffected while he has another bitch within 10 feet away from him. Like, you have the audacity to sit here with a whole girlfriend and tell this woman you're mad at her for spending time with her man. While your girl is in the back whispering to other friends, like, I wish he'd be that interested in us. Like, I don't know. This shit like, wow.
That man sound like she a country bumpkin.
She look a little slow. But it's very much like Frank. We said this last week and the week before and the season before. Frank is like textbook narcissist. Like, you really think this lady's gonna put her entire life on hold for you, while you are out just doing whatever the fuck that you want to do. Like, girl, please go to therapy.
Yeah,
you go to therapy with Teresa. Somebody, y'all just tap out. Everybody take
go to therapy and just get over the fact that what he didn't work out and move forward. Them kids grown, and listen. I know he worried that if Dolores and Paulie really work out, he probably won't be on the show. But that's okay. You've had your run, baby. You can go join Melissa on whatever show they're gonna be on, because clearly they about to be without work.
They're gonna get their own show.
They about to be without work too.
They're gonna be a Love and Marriage, New Jersey.
They're gonna be. Oh my gosh! Nothing gonna be on there. Maybe they'll invite Monique.
She advocating for violence.
Joe and Melissa needs to go down to WeTV and do the marriage boot camp. Marriage boot camp.
Let me stop over there. Sammy get all crunk with fists and stuff.
Because she likes to tussle. Sammy likes to tussle.
I do not.
Yeah, basically that the event itself does well. They raised $200,000, so that was good. There was a scene with Melissa and Joe's son, but it was kind of awkward. It looks like the son, I don't know if he really didn't want to talk to them or he just was, an awkward kid. I'm not really sure, but nonetheless, obviously the relationship between the kids are off too, and I think that's probably the saddest part, because they are kids. But I mean, that they have to blame their parents, to be honest. They're both kind of at fault for that. And that is what it is. So we get this final scene after the event ends, and it's Jennifer and Bill in therapy. And this is the 15th million time that Jen has threatened to leave Bill. But I don't think she's going nowhere no time soon. Now, she does sound fed up, but is she gonna leave? I'm not sure. But basically, in this scene with this old ass therapist, I mean, she has to be 99 years old. But she was pushing and keeping up with the conversation. Jen explains the cheating situation and how it got out. And she refers to Marge as this woman that brought it up.
This woman.
This woman. I'm surprised she didn't call her the albino woman. But basically, she says that Olivia specifically found out on TikTok. I'm sure if she keeps searching through TikTok, she will find many other scenes of her mother doing a lot of other things, because I can find them. But she asked the question, do all men cheat? Very great question, Olivia, but girl, you too young for that. We can guess that's a different discussion for a different blog.
Lean after dark.
Lean after dark. But Bill feels that, as we mentioned, it's very difficult for him to help raise the kids and talk to the kids. It was already that way before, because she says the kids look at her as Superwoman, the good one, the perfect one, and he's like the one that is like the disciplinary parent. But it's been even more difficult now since they found out about the cheating. Jen feels like everything is on her, and she feels that since everything is on her, she shouldn't be criticized as much. She feels like he's always telling her, like, don't do it this way, do it this way, and she doesn't like that. But the one thing the therapist notices that we've also noticed for the last 5 seasons is that Bill is quiet and silent. And Jen expresses that he's silent here. He's silent in other moments. He's always silent. He was silent. He's basically quiet. He checks out of the conversation. And Jen is fed up and she plans to, get the hell out of there. But they do decide that they're going to go to more therapy. I think the kids should be in therapy in the next room. But they ain't my kids. So give me y'all thoughts on this scene.
I was glad that Jen finally was direct in how she felt. So at this point now, I feel like she's been clear with Bill before, but I don't think she's ever said like she said this time, I didn't deal with it then, and now I'm feeling a way about it now. So I'm glad that that's out there. Now Bill knows, okay, she's hurting behind this. She's told him that she feels lonely, or maybe the therapist threw it out there that she feels lonely because he doesn't respond when she's talking. So I feel like therapy is a great start. She's done her part. She's put it out there. So now it's time for Bill to step up and figure something out. Do his end.
Yeah.
Did either of them or has Jennifer ever, over the 6 years that she's been on the show, asked Bill why he doesn't engage in conversation? Or has Jennifer just constantly said, you don't do this, you don't do A, you don't do B, you don't do C, you don't do... But, I get it. You're having a delayed reaction to something that happened 10 years ago. You're allowed to process. You're allowed to have your emotions. You're allowed to feel. Mm-hmm. But at some point, you've got to stop a little bit and say, what are your thoughts on this? Why aren't you engaging? Why aren't you wanting to talk about this? Why do you check out when these hard conversations happen? Because at this point, it's talking to a brick wall. How long are you going to talk to a brick wall? That's always been my critique of Jen. She doesn't stop long enough to garner information from anybody. It's just dump.
That is true.
Dump. And
the
you're
moment
not doing this.
Kind of start to speak, she kind of continued. And didn't really let him get out. But I mean, still, I get that. That's something she can work on. But when the floor is his, he still don't say shit.
Because she's asked him before, you don't have anything to say about this?
I get it. She can be a little overpowering in the conversation, but still, he just doesn't say anything. He just looks like Dracula. Yeah, like Dracula.
And then he laughed at her as well in the therapy session. I forgot what it was or what she said, and he just laughed when the therapist was like, in Bill, he just laughed at her. Like that would set me on fire.
If every time we're arguing, you're threatening if every time we're arguing, you're threatening to end the marriage, at that point, what am I going to do? Why should I continue this conversation? That's emotional manipulation.
It is.
She's
manipulative.
Him.
She's not asking him. She's telling him. She's saying, if you don't communicate the way I want you to communicate, I am ending this marriage. I get that you're upset and you want a partner to communicate with you, but you can't give ultimatums to somebody and only want them to respond the way that you want them to respond. And that is what she is doing from what I can see. Bill has said stuff.
Response?
Well, Bill has responded. Whenever he's critiquing how she engages with the lady, she said, he's told her sometimes you can get a little bit escalated. Sometimes you may take things a little too far. Sometimes I don't want the fight and the conversation to go where it goes. And rather than stopping to say, I get it, you're a pacifist. You may not want to get involved in this. You don't like this confrontation. She turns it around and says, well, I have to fucking fight because you ain't doing shit. Well, girl, what the? Okay, I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to quell the situation so it doesn't escalate. And now I'm the bad guy because I ain't in there fucking getting my wig shifted either.
You gotta put yourself in the shoes. I think Jen definitely goes about it just like she goes about every other moment conversation. She gets turned up really fast. But I mean, even let's go back to the beginning of the session. Before they went in there, they were filling out the survey, whatever it was. She was asking him feel free to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I think she is deep down receptive. Now, when she gets a little high-headed, yes, it comes off as if she is trying to control it and maybe not give a chance to speak. But I think given her situation and what she has gone through, maybe more, I guess more so with the cheating and stuff like that, I think she, to me, is well in her right to have that frustration. And he needs to speak. He needs to say something because he's not giving her really anything to where she feels secure or what she feels like. Okay, he's not giving nothing other than money, and she said that when he come in, he go to the pool house, and I'm just like, that's
sleep at the pool house.
That's
Marge said that too. I mean, I get it. Marge know more about that marriage than the therapist at this point.
Marge be outside that house with her binoculars. She be out there like this. She be like, yeah.
In the pool house again, huh? Okay.
I get it. Relationships are fucking work. Like Jen is me. When I'm emotional, like I may say when I'm calm, I want to hear what you have to say. When I'm mad,
that's right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
listen to what you have to say.
I think she's sincere and wanting to hear what he has to say. But if you're in a situation, I can speak from my own experience, and you're like, you're expressing how you feel, and then you kind of stop for a second, and then it's just crickets. It's like, well, motherfucker, it makes you mad? Like, what the hell? Like, I just said all of this, and you ain't got nothing to say. What portion say? You're not gonna say nothing? You gonna sit up there and not say nothing?
And you know what? I have to take back because I feel like a hypocrite now when I said that maybe she should stop arguing in front of the kids. I have, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you do know I shouldn't be doing this here. But you do it any damn way.
Any damn way.
Just do it any damn way. So I take that back. She should get better with trying to not argue.
Yes, Jen has a lot of blind spots.
Yeah. And it has to be acknowledged. You have to know your blind spots. It's not saying that Bill is a victim or that Bill is blameless. No, it's saying that in a marriage, there are literally no victims. And I mean, there are victims. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Most of the time when you're having communication issues, the way that they are having, there is no one victim or one blameless party. Communication is a two-way street. Jen was a victim in the cheating, but when she made the conscious decision to stay with her husband, she then forgave that cheating, and that moved past the issue of cheating. And now you need to communicate on how you need your partner to respond to you, and you can't keep faulting him for something you chose to forgive him for and never talked about it.
And I think that's where he's at, Jamie. I think he feels like we done did this.
We done did this 10 years ago. I don't care if
now you want something from me about it. I ain't got it. I think that's where Bill is at with it. But hopefully the therapist helps him with that.
She don't care. She said, "Well, Bill, what do you?"
Yeah,
she needs book another session.
She needs to have her own therapy. She needs to have her own therapy,
separate and together.
I think she definitely needs that. He needs it too, but she definitely. Because he ain't got nothing at this point. It's looking like he ain't got nobody to talk to.
Yeah, Bill needs a therapist.
If she don't have nobody to talk, all they have is each other. We don't see.
And neither one of them are talking.
Neither one of them talking.
I do want to say before we end, because it's something I wanted to address back at the baseball thing with the termites, the Gorgas. When Teresa showed up, and Joe wanted to come on, Joey, let's get away, let's run away. But then when he saw Melissa engaging with Teresa, oh, look at the photos and laugh, and hey, Tree, she has a big ass influence over that man. I don't know if he doesn't notice it or he just doesn't want to acknowledge it. But Melissa is we've already known that she's kind of been putting batteries in his back. But seeing that alone, how he just changed his whole attitude towards Melissa and Louis when he saw his wife was okay with him, it was kind of low-key disgusting to me because it makes me feel like Melissa has more of a hand in it than we get to see on camera.
Well, we see it. You said it earlier. She's talking to the camera saying, I want peace, I want peace, I want peace. But it's these little snide comments. And we can only imagine what she's saying behind. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it in past seasons. Yeah. She may not blatantly say your sister is shit, but she absolutely is emotionally manipulating him, saying, how could your sister say this about you? How could she let her husband say these things about you? How could she not acknowledge this? After hearing that for so long, you really start to think that, well, yeah, my sister's treating me poorly. It's like, well, both of you ain't shit. Teresa ain't shit and you ain't shit. You both grew up with a dad who was fucking emotionally. Okay, you're just louder about it. I mean, Teresa's loud as well. Like, everybody needs to be in therapy. My fucking God. Get the
shit, I need to be in therapy from watching this shit at this point.
My God.
Well, you know what? We can all go to Olivia's therapy session. She's gonna be having them very soon. So
I love that little girl. She's so
very cute.
She's
very
so sweet.
Very smart. All right, so we have some callers in the queue. We'll go ahead and get these callers in before we get out of here and lean out. For those that are watching, this is the time we let our callers in. And like I mentioned earlier, I forgot to mention at the beginning, we are also streaming now on Twitter. So if you're down on the Twitter and you're watching us, let us know in the chat what's going on, your thoughts, and yada, yada, yada. Well, can y'all even chat? Oh damn, y'all can't chat. Well, just retweet it, chat. Y'all can't chat, but you can always watch it on YouTube. You want to be a part of the conversation and comment.
Google me.
It has to be on Facebook or YouTube. So, with that being said, we'll let our first caller for today on is going to be Tawana. Tawana, I saw you peek in on that camera too for a second, but I guess you're gonna never show us this nice, beautiful face of yours. So we'll take the voice.
I'm
All right.
sorry.
I'm just
I
talking.
would turn my camera on, but I just wrapped my hair up.
Shall I wrap my hair up too? Look at.
It's okay.
I'll turn my camera on next week.
Okay, what you got for us?
Well, this episode is pretty good. I want to start with Jennifer. I did feel really bad for her this episode. In the past, I've been kind of feeling like she needs to get over what Margaret did. But now with her saying like how her kids and her daughter respond to what her husband did, and every time they get into an argument, she's reminded of what he did because of her children. I understand why she's upset with Margaret. I think you can tell that this was an arranged marriage. They're just two very different people and they don't know how to communicate. And I felt kind of sad when she said that he comes home from work and goes straight to the pool house. Like he doesn't even come to the main house to greet his family when he gets home from work. This episode was kind of funny too. I chuckled a little bit when Jen said that Marge looked like an albino with a wig on. It was kind of mean, but kind of funny. And I laughed.
She's never gonna let Marge make it.
And when they were at Marge's house and she had her friend drinking the iced coffee out the wine glass with the straw. That was cute. I'm kind of over Melissa. It's like she can't do anything without bringing up Teresa. Like when they went to the batting cages, were those batting cages? With Danielle and the other girl, like she was just it's like Teresa doesn't have anything to do with this event. Like, why do you keep bringing her up?
Well, she found I guess an entryway when she mentioned the whole Teresa warning the girls about Marge. She has that was how she brought it back to her. I was like, girl.
I mean, but everybody does that when they like have somebody enter a friend group. Like they warn that person about other people.
Yeah.
In the friend group. So I don't think it was that big of a deal. I do feel like their issues are starting to affect their kids because Teresa's nephew he didn't feel comfortable.
That's what I was gonna say. He seemed a little socially awkward to talk to them. It's almost like he almost didn't like how you see a kid, a little boy, and they're just like their mom's over there and they're kind of shy. He gave that, but he obviously knows them, so it was weird.
But even when he started to open up and have conversations with Gia and his what was it, Melania? No, it wasn't Melania.
It was Gia.
It was Gia.
It was two daughters. There was Gia and one of the other ones. And even when he started to open up and engage in conversation, like, no, I didn't dye my hair and blah, 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 Joe starts calling him over. Like, why are you like calling him over just to stand next to you? Like, why can't he socialize with his aunt and his cousins? So Gia said in the confessional that she feel like her aunt and uncle are trying to keep the kids away from them. And I would have said, no, I don't think that's true. But how Joe started pulling his son away from the conversation with the aunt, with Teresa and her daughters, I kind of feel like that is true.
Yeah.
I would. So I see a comment here, and I actually have another caller to one, so I'm going to let you go in a second. But do you have anything else for us before I let you go?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Tawana. Okay.
Bye, Tawana. Have a good night.
I wanted to. So Robo's Adventures said he's 12 and Gia is 22. I would get that, but the conversation was actually initiated by Teresa. It actually wasn't by Gia. It was Teresa, talking about his hair and the color of it. Gia got involved, but I feel like it was awkward from all
Wait,
standpoints.
what is the conversation? What does the age have to do
Who
anything?
was the other girl?
But I think maybe, and I could be wrong. Maybe Robo is saying that it was awkward because Gia is older and he's younger, so they have nothing really in common.
But he's known Gia his entire life. Gia's
not
been
even
around
saying.
him since a baby. That's a big sister.
Who was the other
Melania.
girl that was there? It was
Melania.
Melania, right?
Yeah.
So she actually was the first one to speak to him when she saw him. She was like, "You've gotten so much taller," and he was even awkward with her, and they were close in age, I believe.
I don't think it was awkward being around it. Seeing Joe, it was more of, is this okay for me?
Is this okay to do? Yep.
Is this okay? Am I okay to
You
be
can
talking?
tell he's been privy to some conversations that
whether they're having it with them or he's over here.
I don't think they're having it with them. I don't think they're that trash. I think that they're just they're they're already not going to going to the birthday parties.
I mean,
and
it's
stuff.
the show. They got Bravo in that tear down house that they got. Like, they can see what's going on there. They can see everything. They have access to the podcast that their parents are going on, trashing their cousins. Like, these kids are not. None of these kids are stupid. These kids are very smart, very intuitive. Like, you know when your parent has beef with somebody.
Teresa just said that they had a whole Sweet 16 for Melania and none of them came.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. Like that,
I saw that, Kelly.
That's different.
That comment where I saw online, people were saying Gia's old enough, she should have gone and picked up her cousin. Her cousin is 12 years old. The kids are minors. If Gia were to go, an adult woman, go and pick her cousins up without their parents' consent, that is kidnapping. Are y'all like? I need turn it on. That is kidnapping. She can't go
not
pick them up their cousins.
Damn.
My God.
We got one last caller, and we'll let them on before we get out of here. Our next and final call is going to be Lisa. Hey, Lisa Chan. You look real comfortable.
Lisa, get up.
I'm about to start filming and laying down too because I'm tired.
Go ahead. Nah, I just don't feel good. I promise y'all. I don't. I've been having a flu, so yeah, but I'm laying down the bed. But now let's get started. Okay. Child, I am so tired of this situation. Hold on.
Now Lisa.
Between Jen and Margaret, okay? Teresa and Jen did not say nothing bad. They just say you rather have Margaret as a friend than an enemy. Ain't like they lying. Come on now. Everybody done said it. Come off of it, Margaret. Because you is a wastefully bitch. Okay? Okay, then, and I'm tired of Frank. Frank, get over it, huh? You got a woman. Okay, move on. Okay, because Paulie already letting everybody know you not finna take his woman. He is not on the Dave. He's not finna play with you. You not finna be the man, a nice man in Dolores' life. Frank, move on, okay? It's done, it's over. Let me tell you something now. Jennifer, baby. Okay, I don't like speaking about nobody, man. Cause see, I can definitely tell you I never been married. But I've been around married folks. And Bill, you knew what kind of man you was married when you was married. So y'all been married over 20-some years. And now you want to change the game because of an affair. You say you forgive him and y'all move on. So when it came out, deal with it, let the kids know it's not gonna stop our love, okay? Me and Daddy ain't gonna get on divorce. He made a mistake. And let's move on with life. If you're not gonna forgive him, baby, sign the divorce papers, take half his money, and move the hell on, okay? Because I'm tired of that mess too. Because Bill's not gonna open up like you want him to. He's not. He's the shut down kind of guy. He's not gonna shut down, but I like the caller though. He needs to spend more time with his family though. Instead of him come in, going to the pool house, or whatever part of the house he go to, he need to come home and say, "Baby, I'm home," and spend time with the family. You know what I'm saying? So but I don't. I mean, like I said, I don't want to speculate on their marriage because I never been married, and I don't like to talk about nobody else's marriage. You bring the bump, so you know what I'm saying. You do some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying. Other than that, I really don't care. But other than that, I hope they work it out. I really do. Cause I like Bill and Jean together. I do.
Yeah.
I like them together. I wish they married as well. Cause they got some beautiful kids. And the little baby girl, I like her. She said, I want to be a love therapist. Okay, baby, be your love therapist, baby. Okay. And like she said, she want to be an actress. She want to be an actress. And that's how kids are. Kids want to be everything at a young age. Okay. So I want to take everything she say so seriously, like Raquel did. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, get over it. Okay. Let's move on.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, Teresa, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Now, I always say I believe everything Jill is saying about that. I really do. Now, Jill ain't no little bitty girl. She ain't gonna play up to the thing no more. No more. She a grown ass girl now. She can say
Jill.
whatever she wanna say, and I believe Jill everything she's saying. I really do believe her feelings is valid about Joe and Melissa. I really do. I really do. And they need to have Joe and Melissa, like you said. I don't know which one of y'all said it. They do need their own love in New Jersey episode.
They need some.
Okay.
Look,
They need
Eric,
So
Andrew
they
Camp.
soon gonna be, they soon gonna be woke
Carlos
because
King.
they getting sued. Somebody, so you remember somebody that said long to episodes back where he don't never pay nobody, where he didn't pay the right person.
Seasons back. Seasons back.
Yep, season pass. They said you remember they keep saying, baby dog, Joe don't like to pay nobody. So he gonna have to pay somebody. They want to pay somebody.
All right, Lisa, I got one last call. I gotta get on. Okay, I gotta let you go.
Okay,
Right?
darling. I love you.
Thank you.
Love
And
you, my
feel-
boo.
You feel
Feel better,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Feel
I
better.
will, darling. Bye bye.
All right. Good night, Lisa. I'm gonna let this caller on before we get out of here. Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie. What's going on?
Hey, boys. How are you?
It's
Hey,
Melissa's biggest fan. What you got for us?
I mean, I always like her. It's always going to be 10 toes down for me with Melissa. Joey Gorga is amazing. And I'm not going to ever get away from that, but I will tell you, I actually like the episode. I think that, there's just a lot going on. Danielle, Rachel as new girls really do make sense to the show. And one thing that I thought was interesting is usually I don't like Jen at all, Jen Aydin, but I actually did take a lot from that therapy session. I'm not saying that I enjoyed her.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, I don't know, we just got a lot from her, and Bill don't really seem like he's with it at all. And I feel like that is at least the most compelling Jennifer Aydin has been in quite some time. So all in all, people said it was a boring episode online, but I didn't think it was. I actually thought it was quite compelling.
I thought it was kind of boring.
Certain housewives were compelling.
Melissa Gorga will always be Melissa Gorga will always be compelling. That is a fact.
Well,
Take it to the bank. Always.
To whom?
I just said it. I just said it. I just said it. No, I love that girl. But I like the show, and I think it was good. Dolores, and I think we get excited about Dolores and Frank, and how that's going to pan out. All in all, I was pretty happy with the episode. And again, you guys always do a great recap, so shout out to you guys.
Thank you. Are you going to recap the reunion tomorrow or for tomorrow?
For Miami, I'm gonna do all 3 episodes in one because I'm not a big reunion fan, so I just wait till all 3 episodes come out at once.
I want to hear. You should. I don't know if you're gonna watch the episode in time. We're gonna be live tomorrow for part 2, and part 1 was pretty good. I want to hear your thoughts on Larsa.
Oh God, I want to watch your review when you post it.
I will. I don't know what to tell you guys. I just like the pretty girls. Melissa, Kenya Moore. Yeah.
Larsa is pretty to somebody. Ronnie.
Jamie, why are you
Jordan.
Jamie is too shady. I like watching Jamie as a commentator because you really do bring the heat. I got to admit, you really are one of the best Bravo commentators out there by far.
Look, if I had Larsa's money, my face looked just like that. If I had that,
that's what you would do with your money.
I would. And what? My ass would look like that too. These twig legs and all.
Well, here's the thing, and I think one of you it might have been you, Jamie. It might have been you. The proportions of the legs don't necessarily make sense.
No, it wasn't just Jamie. It was the entire panel.
Okay, but real quick. This is what I do got to say. I admire her commitment to the no plastic surgery. Like, to me, I mean, you are developed as a very interesting woman. If you could just be like, no, Andy, it's all the workout. like
Girl,
Larsa, I love
never
Larsa.
see her in the gym ever.
Ever.
She is not even doing the little.
She couldn't even.
She ain't even faking it.
She literally said, "I'm not walking up a ladder to get on the boat." Like, girl, I thought you were athletic. I thought you said this was an athletic body. You can't.
All right, we gotta get out of here, okay?
All right, bye, boys. You guys do a great job. Take care.
Love us some running. Okay, y'all, we gotta get ready to get out of here. I saw a couple comments in the chat about what time we're going live. For those that watch Real Housewives of Miami, we'll be live tomorrow and next Thursday for part 2 and part 3. We go live at the same time tomorrow for Jamie, who don't be knowing, which is 5. Let me give it to you: 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I can't
remember.
Jamie,
any other time zone that you may need, Google it. Dang.
No, but here's the thing, guys. Cortez messages me and says 8:30 Eastern. Bitch, I'm in Texas. What does that mean?
I would hope that you would know that you go down 1 hour.
I don't. But he doesn't send Google invites. He doesn't send appointment requests. Nothing. He texts either 6 hours ahead of time or 5 minutes before. Yes.
And this is why I said I know for sure that I am from Texas because I understand the timing when you put it out there. I don't know what.
Look at Jasmine.
How?
We're gonna lean out with this coming, and it's been the same for 3 years.
Maybe for you, Jasmine, but not for us.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank y'all for watching. Like this video. Thank you, Jamie and Stephanie. Thank you to our callers, Tawana, Ronnie, and Lisa. Lisa, feel better, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for Real Housewives of Miami, part 2 of the reunion. Good night, y'all.